Okay, so this is part two of, I guess some people call it mail day, except in mail day, people have the envelopes. Some days I get so much mail that, I'm really not going to do a, I could do a, my desk is just too cluttered, man, to have envelopes and stuff all over it. Um, our plan one day is to move out of here and for me to have a bigger home office. But right now, this is what God's given me, and I have to deal with it. But for coins, for little things like this, really, even though my space is kind of a little messed up here, it's fine. Okay, so as I mentioned in part one, a lot of the pickups that I do online, my purchases of coins online, usually pennies. I have some non-pennies over here that I'm going to go over in the next episode, the next part. But usually it's for a reason. For example, I found this in yesterday's episode, and it's a wide AM. Now, since I've been doing penny roll hunts, this is the second wide AM I've ever found. Right, so let's look at the A and the M should not be touching. Right, and they're not touching. Um, do I have another? I don't have another 2000, but I do have. So what I did was, if I see wide AMs online, I pick them up because I know how difficult they are to find. Now, interestingly enough, like here's a wide AM, that's a 2000. This person here even know what type it was, type 1 reverse. So it's interesting that he has different types on the reverse, because this reverse, and this is a 2000, and this is a 2000. But the reverses look very different, right? So you know what? Since how many wide AMs are we going to go over now? Let me go a little out. That's a wide AM. This is a wide AM. This is a wide AM. I don't know if that's my handwriting. I don't know if this was. I don't think I found that one. I must have had to redo the package for whatever reason. That's a strike through. That's a die clash. What is this? Oh, 1911D. Okay, 1970D. No FG. Unlabeled. I have to look at that. Off-centered. Another 2000 wide AM. This one also says type 2. Must be the same person. The handwriting's the same. And here goes another die clash. Okay, so let me put these die clashes together. No VD. We even got a no VDB. And what is this? That's the other die clash. Put those two together. All right, so this is what we're going over today. So right now we're going over the wide AMs. I'm going to go look online right now, and I want to be able to speak to what the difference is between a type 1 and a type 2 wide AM, because I never heard of that before. And I'll be right back. Okay, so what I decided to do was, since I'm talking about the wide AM, I found this, and that I unfortunately my camera is not like a wide angle, so you can't see the whole thing online. This is what I'll do. If you want to read this on, you can pause it. And so I'll do this. And then you could read it at your own leisure and just pause it and read it. Okay? So this is on LincolnCentResources.com. Okay? And it's a very short explanation about the wide AM and close AM varieties. Until 1992, Both proof and business strike Lincoln cents were made using the same type of reverse die, or with the wide AM. The 1992, there's a right. 1992, the Mint created a new reverse called the close AM that seems to be intended for use during the 1993 cents. So it has that makes sense that it has, because the 1993s have a close AM. The 1992s do not. It's very hard to find the 1992s with the close AM. They're worth about $100 in I don't know conditions that you find. All 1993 cents proof and business strikes have a close AM reverse. Beginning in 1994, the Mint began with the old wide AM reverse on all proof strikes and the new close AM reverse on all business strikes. Okay. Oh, so on the proofs, you'll see a wide AM. Okay, that's right. I remember reading about that a week or so ago. In other words, instead of using the same reverse on both proof and business strike, the Mint began using different reverses on cents dated beyond 1994 and beyond. And if things went accordingly, okay. So I see. So then he goes over the varieties. The following is a list according to rarity of all known abnormalities in the 1992 close AM being the scarcest, which is what I said. It says extremely rare. I guess for $100 you can get an extremely rare coin. The following is a list according to the rarity of anomalies. This list does not include the other known transitional reverse varieties such as the 88 P&D RDV006, which I'm wondering if that refers to the flared G, which I'm not sure about if it does or not. Okay. So these are the varieties. Okay. Oh, here goes the FG. They're talking about the FG. That's on the reverse. So interestingly enough, right? The one that I'm like, how come it? So let's go back to this coin, which this video is really about what the purchase that I made, and this is the one that I found. But the reverse looks odd. It does not look like the other two coins. And that is the part that really weirded me out about that 2000 that I found. Right? Because here's the 2000. These are 2000s, right? The two that I purchased. The condition's okay on them. But on the reverse, look how the letters look so different. They look kind of blockish. And see how blockish the letters look as opposed to this one? So, but the other thing that they talked about was the FG. So, no, yeah, the FG is really far away from the memorial steps. Let me read what it says here. The initials FG and reverse are further from the memorial on the close AM. On the close, so they're talking about the 92. Oh, are further. The initials are a better diagnosis than the AM. Okay, so let me read this and I'll get back to you to see what it says about the FG. So maybe this is not a wide AM after all, because it appears as if, and this is why, like I said, I'm doing the video because I purchase the coins for a reason, right? To have, to help me with my numismatic education. So here you can see how close the FG is to the stairs. And here on the one that I found, I don't know. To me, the FG looks further away. So maybe this is not a wide AM, but the letters on the reverse look so odd, and they're not touching. To me, this is a wide AM. I mean, the letters are not touching, but it's so odd how the reverse looks so different on these two coins. That's why I thought maybe there was a different type one. Here it says type 2 just means it's a wide AM, and another thing says type 1 means it's a close AM. So I don't know if that's true or not. I would have to do more research. So anyway, let me get back to the pickups. To me, this is a wide AM because there's space in between the A and the M. But it might not be a wide AM because there's space between the FG. It looks like there's extra space. So here's a 2000 I picked up, and another 2000. So and it's also nice to have two. I mean, that's the 98. That's the 2000. What year is this? That's another 98. Interestingly enough, and where was the other? I thought I had two 2000s. Die Clash. What's this? Oh, is this the other 2000? Yeah, see, the space is generous in these examples. And how far is the FG from the, yeah, see, to me, that's pretty close. And the AM is really far apart. So, even though the AM isn't touching, yeah, the FG looks really far away compared to the other ones. Just that the reverse is so shiny. And the letters, the punch is just, it's so different. It's really, to me, pretty wild. So let's look at the other. Oh, here goes the other. So I have three 2000 AMs that I purchased, I guess. Here's another one. You could really see the space in between it. And how about the FG? Yeah, it's close. So I'm gonna have to go and say, based on what I'm seeing, that this is not a wide AM, even though they're not. It's just odd, man. I've never seen the A and the M not touching on the bottom. So, but I bet if I sent that out to get graded, they would not grade it as a wide AM. Okay, and then I have, so the 1999 wide AM is, they're saying, is very expensive. So I thought I had an 88, 89, and excuse me, a 98, a 99, and 2000. This is the 98. Again, very obvious wide AM. The FG does look close, and it's a 98. And then the other one, which I should have wrote the date down. I mean, I guess you don't have to. It says 98. So it was either two 98s or two 2000s, but there wasn't a 99. So that makes sense. Look how close the FG is. And look how much space you have in between the A and the M. So look at that. Okay, so that's part of that's the wide AM pickups. I there were two die clashes. I think I might have found a very weak one once upon a time. But this is, to me, I thought these were such nice examples. You have to turn it upside down, right? And then you can read it. So right here, oh, no, it's right side up. Oh, that's interesting. You can read the letters. Oh, I guess they're just inverted. You have to put it up to a mirror. You can see the lines from the shield. So those let UN, it's the UNU is the unum. That's what you're seeing on the front. And I do not see any die clashing, anything on the reverse of this one. I thought this was nice. I don't think I've ever found one that is this strong. I might have found one with maybe a little tiny weak line here or there, but I thought this was a really nice example of a 2023 die clash. Wish I had the extra V. That would be crazy too, right? Imagine. And here's the other die clash, also a 2023. This one I think is even a little stronger. You can see the square. And you don't even need I like, obviously, a lot of the errors that you find or purchase on eBay or wherever you buy them from, you can only see the error on the magnification. My preference, and maybe it's because I use the phone and because of the channel, is I really want coins. Look, you can see it in the face too, the lines that I can see without a microscope. And I mean, I have a really nice microscope, but that's just my preference. This just helps me move a little quicker between coins, and also it means that it's much more visible, right? If you can see something with the naked eye versus the microscope, then it tells me that it's stronger. Not necessarily better. I didn't say better, but anyway, it's my preference. Let me keep going. Those are the two die clashes. What else do we got? Got this nice off-centered. Now, from what I've read online in my studies, so if this is 30%, let's just go in between half. This would be halfway right here. That would be 15%. And if we go half again, that would be 5%. So what I find typically, if I find any off-centered pennies in my penny roll hunting, they're only about 2 or 3% off-centered. And my understanding is that the value of what people are really searching for are 15% or greater. So this is 30%. So obviously this is much greater than that. And my personal preference is I want to see the date. Now, if it's $1 or $2, I really don't care, I guess, or I care less. But, oh, look at that. See, I made my own little note on this. Again, 30% on the reverse also. And it's very clean. This is a very nice condition coin. Has that little mark right there, which, if that's dirt or like, not grease, but if it's something on the surface, maybe I can get it out. I'm not sure. I'd have to really look at that closer. But what the person did not identify on this coin was the fact that the edge, it also has a railroad rim. And so let me, if you want to, I always get asked, what's the value of that? I'm going to show you the value, what they're selling 30% off centered and railroad coins for. And the fact I think that this is a rare that adds to the value. And for whatever reason, the person did not identify it. That's interesting. So let me just look this up real quick and I'll come right back. Okay, so I found some examples of off centered on online, and you can see the prices, what they're asking for. And they basically look like this. Again, these do not have railroad rims. They're just 30% off centered. So if you went online and you went to buy it, this has free shipping. And, guess what? Guess what you don't see in any of these? And I just told you what I'm looking for when I purchase them. And what is it you don't see? The date. And they want $20 with no date. No date. Partial date. Partial date. All right, the first one with a date, and it's funny, I think it's a 2008. All right, let's check that one out. Ours looks more off-centered than this. He's saying this is a 30%. This looks like it's less than the one I have. And it's an 80. You can't see the whole date. He says it's 2000. It says I don't know why he says that. Anyway, I can't see that whole date, so I don't even like that one. Can't see the date. Here goes the first one with the date, and it does look about 30%. All right, they want $30, so that's great. Now, how about the railroad rims? So let's look for railroad rims. Now, these people are saying these are railroad rims, right? And I have the light on. Let me take that off. These do not look like railroad rims to me. What does a railroad rim look like? That's what a railroad rim looks like. It's a super long on the penny, and then you'll see the rim. It looks just like this. And if you notice, none of these so-called railroad rims look like a railroad rim. I would not purchase any of these as railroad rims. Here, railroad rim. This person is saying this is a railroad rim. This is not a railroad rim. Remember what I said? It has to be very far away from the rim. Like that. And that's what a railroad wheel looks like. See how far away it is, the rim from the edge? Look at that. That's a railroad rim. So you can't even find. So you want to. Funny thing is, the partial collar aspect of this and the fact that it's a railroad rim might be actually more valuable than the fact that it's a 30% off centered. That is a very nice partial collar example of a railroad rim. And the ones that are online that they want $20, $30 for, it's not. So the person missed a significant aspect of the error on this coin. All right, let me move along because I know I'm taking too long for this. We only have 3 more. I'm so bummed out about this penny. Is this it? Oh no, this is a different one. Oh, what is this? Oh, I took this penny out from just to look at an example of what a close AM looks like in the reverse. So, all right. So let's go back. Let's go to here. I picked up a 1911 Denver. Does it have a die chip in it? It might have a die chip or now. Why did I get the 1911 Denver? Because I really do believe in mintages, and also the 1911 Denver is the first. That was the first. I didn't know that, but the 1911 is the first year that the Denver Mint produced pennies. I didn't know that. First time Denver cents were produced, 1911. And they only made 12 million of them. 12 million is pretty low. Obviously, the S's are even lower. And the matte proofs, those must be worth a ton. But they made 101 million. Even just the 1911s, that's pretty low mintage at 100 million. So it's a low mintage. Is it a key variety? That's the other thing I didn't check. 1911, no. The S, okay, is the key, is the semi-key date. All right, that makes sense. All right, so the 1911 Denver is not a semi-key date, but it is the first Denver ever made. So I thought that was significant. We have two. We're gonna end the show on these two. I guess two errors. Nice conditions, probably like almost uncirculated condition. MS. This is probably like an MS 63, 64, 65. And he wrote no FG, but it's really not a no FG, in my opinion. It's a weak FG, because you can still see the maybe from a certain image angle. Yeah, no, any angle you look at it, oh, you can tell the FG is there. It could be a grease strike, could be polished, could be a bunch of different reasons. But he put no FG to me. That's mislabeled. This is a weak FG. It's just really, really weak. Okay. And lastly, I did find this penny intriguing. The no VDB. It's a grease strike. Well, let's look at it first of all. Okay, so usually when I see a grease strike, oh, look how high it goes. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that till just now. So I'm looking at these coins for the first time now. I didn't really scrutinize them like I'm doing now. So usually if there's a grease strike, it's around towards the edges, towards the rim. And it'll look like scratch marks. And the L will be light, and sometimes the I and the N. And the ones that people find most desirable are like really strong grease strikes where, a lot of the features, even the face might be gone. But in this case, really the only grease strike is on the bottom of the Lincoln. And you can see how high it goes. I've never seen it go that high. You see those little points, little up carrots, arrows. That's super high. And the funny thing is, it doesn't look like the typical scratch marks that you see. So that's pretty cool. But look at this. Look at the VDB. So he writes no VDB. He does the same thing like the other one. So I would disagree with the no VDB. This just has a strike through around the VDB. What year is this? Is it 23? Huh. I'm going to look at this under the loop because that's a little weird mark in between it. I'll be right back. So in one aspect, he is correct that the VDB is so weak right there. It almost just looks like shapes. But the weird thing is, I mean, I don't think this has the extra V, but it sure does have some odd shapes inside that grease strike. That's all I got to say about that. So I think this one is pretty cool. Someone who's into grease strikes or missing VDB would probably want this. And the coin's in beautiful condition, And I really like how the grease strike looks on his coat there, the front of his coat. So, how about the reverse? Beautiful. Now, this is, remember I showed in the part one, I showed the satin penny. Where's, oh, I put it away already. And this is the problem with, this is why oh no, I didn't. It's right here. I'm gonna keep, I keep these coins around because look, they're saying this is satin, right? It says satin right there, satin finish. Man, I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is the problem. This one to me looks more of a satin finish than this one, but maybe it's the lines. I don't know, man. I did order the 2009 satin finish set, which they show in the mintage. 2005 they don't show as a satin finish, but this is a really has some scratches there. That's going to affect the grade. That scratch right there, I don't like that. Unless it's on the paper, which I don't think it is. No, it's on the, see the reflection. That really screws up the grade right there. Probably would bring this down to either a high AU or a very low MS grade. I don't know if this is one I would send to get graded, to be honest with you. It's just a really cool scent. And I got it really cheap. You know, it's probably worth $10 to the right buyer, maybe even 15. But I thought that was pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed the show. I know there's so much information to take in, and hopefully that didn't turn anyone off, because this is really the process of learning about numismatics, learning about um, coins and their errors, and what someone has to do to research coins, and also, you know, getting you know, being happy with your purchase online, right? And to know what it is that your personal interests are. So this person again has no FG. I would disagree with that after seeing this. You know what I mean? But if you're looking for, you know, if you're really into odd coins, like the first Denver to me is super cool. And you know, what was it? Was it 100? No, it wasn't 100 million. How many million was it? For the 19, it was 12 million. You know, and if you're into, you know, mintages, like mintage numbers, you know, a coin like this might be something you want to add to your collection. So you have to know what it is that you're really striving for. For me, honestly, I'm really I just want to learn about numismatics, and when I find something on my channel, I want to be able to properly and correctly identify what I'm looking at, so I'm not giving poor information to people. You know, I get corrected all the time, and um, that's part of the process. But I also want to know what I'm talking about, you know, and or if I get corrected, either to be able to defend my position or to understand what the person is telling me. So if you're still watching this after 34 minutes and you were able to keep up with my little chaotic way of researching and explaining what I purchased, then to me you're on your way to um, becoming, you know, a well learned person in the area of coin collecting and numismatics. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please click like and subscribe. God bless. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm going to do, so this was episode 395, part 1 and 2. For 396, I'm going to finish off. I have some more purchases that I made, and they're pretty interesting. And I also have the purchase that I made of the graded coins from cards and coins on eBay. He has a really great website. So I'm going to do that next.